Don't worry about it, Zven. Sometimes they try to get me to do all sorts of cosplays too, and I feel the same way. You just got to scratch your chin about it sometimes.
Yeah, I love how honest Zven is as well. Whether it was funny at his expense, he knows that it's funny.
Yeah.
And he knows that he has the best KDA in the league with 0 deaths. Funnily enough, if he does run it down, his KDA is going to stay the same based on how we track it statistically because we don't differentiate between 0 and 1 deaths.
Well, as long as he runs it down one time. That's true. If we start sprinting it down, if we start marathon running this, it's not exactly going to be the best state of the game, but the man has been putting up the numbers.
Yeah, and you can see there just some of the numbers for Cloud9. They've gotten every Baron. They actually have the top 2 players in CSD at 15. They've gotten 6 of 8 possible Heralds in 4 games. They have the best gold at 15 in the league. They've just been completely dominating everyone.
And we'll see if their opponents today can hand them their first loss of the year. Coming up against them, it's FlyQuest. Viper's there in the top lane. Santorin's in the jungle with all them trees. PowerOfEvil in mid. WildTurtle and IgNar bot lane and support with Coach Curry.
Yeah, and as they mentioned, the exciting news for TreeQuest fans is that C9 has actually joined them for the Game 1 matchup. They're planting 1 tree for every kill against FlyQuest, 100 trees if they win, and 10 trees for every Cloud Drake. So that'll be good either way, depending on who wins.
Now, what I'm looking at here is it's automatically going to be 100 trees no matter who wins the game because they both have the same bet on that. But what we want for maximum trees planted, we want a bloodbath of a game, kills left, right, and center, and we want a 7 Drake match that has either a Therapy Dragon or a Wind Dragon on it for maximum number of Ocean and Wind Drakes.
I mean, that would be a nice game. I'm down for some early game action because a lot of the global games I've been watching, particularly LCK, have been very slow. One thing I love about Cloud9, though, is that they have been forcing more early skirmishes than any other team in the LCS. And what's also interesting is FlyQuest, this surprise second-place team, has also been very active early when compared to the LCS norm. So rather than seeing, this is, classic caster curse, rather than seeing the late game scaling picks, I think there's a good chance we see more early game skirmishers with these 2 teams.
And then remember, while a patch has recently dropped and we're on 10.3 for the live servers, we're still on 10.2 here for competitive play, and that means Akali has not received that 11% win rate nerf bat straight to the kneecap, so she's going to continue being banned out every single game here. Set and Elise also banned out by FlyQuest as Cloud9. They pay respect to the Riven tax. They ban that away, along with Lucian and Blitzcrank, and Rumble is the lock-in here for C9.
Yeah, and you can see the reason that Rumble has made it through pick and bans. He was actually 85% banned through 2 weeks of the LCS in 17 of the 20 games. It's because of the high targeting of bans. The fact that Riven and Blitzcrank were target banned left a bigger power pickup, and C9 locks it. And if the draft is any indication, we're going fast. So many teams dilly-dally and hover before locking. Not either of these guys. We're 5 picks in, maybe 30 seconds after pick starting.
And we see both bot lanes locked in their entirety for the 2 sides. It's Senna and Tom Kench for FlyQuest going up against Aphelios and Nautilus for Cloud9. Some very common faces appearing recently in the current meta of the game. Aatrox locked in, so what we're seeing is most likely mirrored lanes here in the first 3 picks for each side.
Yeah, the nice thing about Rumble, though, is we know that it's a very flexible pick and could likely go mid. There's a chance Aatrox follows it for sure, especially in these contexts, but PowerOfEvil, who, by the way, leads the league in damage per minute, has played Rumble mid twice already. He's actually 2 of the 3 Rumble in LCS plays, so extra value for C9 to have that takeaway.
Let's see how these bans are going to shake out here. Neither side having a jungler. Both sides still looking at a solo laner as well. Camille will be the ban from FlyQuest, and Syndra the ban from Cloud9.
Yeah, so you can see Cloud9, I think, is dedicating bans towards securing a better Rumble matchup since the game really unlocks for Cloud9 through mid-jungle. It's a large way that they won last year with Svenskeren and Nisqy. There's no reason that needs to change with Blaber Nisqy. So making sure that mid-jungle 2v2 can be good is beneficial, and that's why we're seeing those mid-lane bans. But interestingly, FlyQuest bans LeBlanc as well, so they're still not sure where that Rumble's going.
LeBlanc banned out, 1 more to go. Cloud9, what's it going to be? Are we going to continue to focus around that Rumble matchup, trying to narrow down that pool that they could pick from, keep Rumble in a spot where he's able to be that mid-game team-fighting powerhouse that we know him as? Final ban of this game is going to be Orianna.
Yeah, so that does signal to me that it is likely going to be the mid lane jungle. They're picking fourth the Jarvan because neither team had picked junglers. Additionally interesting there, where they're flexing the Rumble top now because the Qiyana was left open and two of the stronger ranged matchups are already gone. So I love watching Reaper drafts, partially because it makes me say things that in retrospect are like, what's he doing? Just because he switcheroos so much. Like, those bans could have been different things, but here, having the Qiyana mid, I think, is pretty smart.
And the response from FlyQuest may be, oh, it's Diana! So we'll get to see that go up against the assassin in the Qiyana. Diana, very potent against opponents that have to get up in her face. The shield, very powerful at dueling.
Yeah, we saw this matchup a couple of times already, actually. I'm not sure if it was in LEC or in LCS, but it is one of the better melee matchups into Qiyana. Extremely volatile, and I like how both teams have mixed damage profiles between jungle mid, so it's not like you can do an easy Mercury Treads or Ninja Tabi buy to avoid it. So it's going to be a very explosive mid-jungle matchup.
And one thing to remember about Diana, for those of you who might not have been fully up to date on the changes, the champion was recently reworked to swap the old R with the old E.
Yep.
So she does not have any gank assist potential pre-level 6. The ultimate still has the vacuum on it. It pulls you in, it slows you, it does a ton of AoE damage. However, since the dash is now on E, CC's not quite there.
The exchange of flowers on their way off the stage from the coaches. Very nice to see.
And this, as we said at the very beginning, FlyQuest has the opportunity to be the first team to beat these guys.
Yeah.
Cloud9 is the only team in the LCS that has managed to escape the first 2 weeks of play without a single loss.
And statistically, after watching Dignitas lose to TSM, if FlyQuest wins this game, they're actually in first. Because they'd both be 4-1, but they'd own the head-to-head tiebreaker against Cloud9.
And for FlyQuest fans, that is exciting, man.
Yeah.
This is FlyQuest. This is a team that a lot of people rank at the middle of the pack, and they are challenging for the top. That guy says he's here to watch FlyQuest plant some trees. Let's see how it goes down here as we're getting on to Summoner's Rift for the 4th game of the day.
Really excited for this matchup because of FlyQuest's surprising start, and also even a little bit of surprise of how dominant C9 has been. Like, you expect them to be good. Don't know if we expect them to be this good this early.
And as the crowd starts the chants and as the champions make their way out onto the Rift, Oddly is standing by with a sideline report with both of the coaches. Take it away.
Thanks, guys. Yes, I am here with both Curry and Reaper of FlyQuest and Cloud9, and this is so wholesome. I caught them backstage, and they both actually exchanged gifts as a sign of what? This partnership between you two, all to plant the tree. So, Curry, any words that you want to say to Reaper before we go into this game?
Let's just make sure we plant a lot of trees today.
Planting the trees. Reaper, for you.
Yeah, same.
Same. All right, short and sweet here. Let's hope that we plant that forest. Back to you guys.
Oh, they're looking for a bloody game too.
Yeah,
they're looking for a bloody game too.
No, like, oh yeah, we're really looking for, Tom Kench to avoid the Qiyana dives. Nope, just plant some trees.
Good sign already. First Drake will be Mountain, which means it cannot be the Soul. So
okay.
we now have a 2 out of 3 chance of getting one of the Drake Souls that will ensure maximum planet saving.
It's true.
That's what I'm talking
There we go.
about. That's a
Good
good
stuff.
sign. The game itself has heard our prayers and come to answer. Let's see how these lanes break out. PowerOfEvil, as you said, the man who's currently topping the league in damage per minute. He is popping off in these performances recently for FlyQuest.
Yeah, it's also surprisingly the best start of his LCS career. He's never started a season 3-1, so a lot of positives early on for FlyQuest, and really them getting put to the test this year. Nothing would make them be taken seriously more than a win over Cloud9, who everyone you talk to, and also just looking at the standings, you can tell that they are the best team in the league right now.
And I like exactly how Zven worded it, because even when people are hyping him up saying, dude, you're playing awesome right now, like this is the return of the OG Niels. But he's saying, no, I'm playing better than I have been, but I'm playing like that on the best team.
Yeah, gotta point out right now, though, something that's happening. The jungle's getting split, but I'm really curious to know if Blaber notices it, because he's doing a 3-camp clear. If he knew that it was an invade, he would have done 2 camps and wiggle his way straight into blue buff. He did not. So there's a good chance, because he's Gragas, he's doing a 3-camp recall to buy Predator boots, but is going to end up getting 3-buffed.
And Licorice walks down now just to check that exact situation, see what's going on. Okay, the blue is gone. He's saying we got a problem here. But Santorin has already made his way back to his own jungle. Blaber walking towards bottom side, but as you said, no Predator boots available here. You have to wait for that first back to be able to buy him. You don't have a keystone effectively until that point, and that means Santorin is able to go over to his own blue, 3 buff complete.
It's good start from Santorin. Maybe not as great as we would think, though, because of what Licorine did. I really love how much information Licorine just gave Blaber with which to make decisions. So yes, his blue buff is gone, but Licorine let him know that his whole camp and whole quadrant wasn't cleared. Wolves were still up, Gromp was still up, he can still take Scuttle, so he'll hit level 4 after doing this Scuttle and Gromp just fine, and not actually be that far behind on the play. And the 2-for-1 that Licorine actually accomplished there is in case Santorin was going for a cheesy gank, since he just shoved the wave into the turret, he wasn't going to die in a 2v1. At worst, it would have been a 1-for-1, so really good play from Licorine there.
Speaking of a gank, Santorin may be looking to set something up here in the bottom side. Cloud9 does not want to step up too far. Santorin goes in, looks to find the knock-up, not going to grab a lot. Vulcan and Zven doing a good job playing correctly against this move from FlyQuest, and they honestly walk away barely worse for wear.
Yeah, that was excellent by Vulcan to actually cue the Jarvan EQ. It prevented the knock-up onto either of them, and now Blaber's going for it.
Oh, Viper underneath the turret. Gonna have to try to outplay here. Licorine taken down below 100 HP, but it's still gonna be a 3v1. TP coming in, warding Cloud9 away, trying to say, don't you dare dive this man. PowerOfEvil showing up to keep his teammates safe, and Cloud9 walks away.
They go for the dive, though. That's the type of early action that we've seen out of both C9 and FlyQuest. A lot of teams have actually just kind of accepted that the lanes aren't going to have action until 8 minutes, and then they swap up. Not these two. Santorin has been one of the most active early game junglers. You saw his early attempt bot, and you already see an attempted dive there by C9.
Important thing to note about that Cloud9 dive attempt, it was the flash used by Licorine there.
Yeah.
It was teleports forced out from both of the laners as they were both taken incredibly low, so those are not going to be available for either side. And while I'm talking about it, I want to point out this game. Massive TP advantage in the later stages of the game for FlyQuest. It is 3 teleports compared to 1. There are no additional teleports or summoner spellbooks or anything besides what Licorine has on the Rumble.
Yeah, that's really big, especially when we're talking about WildTurtle, which has been a hot topic of conversation in terms of how do you swap up for that at 8 minutes, especially in this game where one team has teleport and one doesn't. The big challenge for Cloud9 right now, since they are the team, if you notice, without teleport on their AD carry, is to try and get WildTurtle to burn that early. The fact that Zven has a combat summoner, they would like to be able to push Turtle into the wave here and make him use teleport before 8 minutes. Otherwise, WildTurtle is basically conceded for free.
Keep your eyes on that as we go through the next 2 minutes of the game, working towards that 8-minute mark. 5.5 minutes in, first Drake has spawned. You can see nobody heading towards him yet, but there is control ward vision down in the pit from Blaber. Sometimes teams like to go for these nice and early, but doesn't seem to be the play here from either side in this matchup. Santorin on the bottom side of his jungle, still prowling around over there. No kills yet on the board from either team. Mobility boots, the rush here coming out from Nisqy on the Qiyana. Sometimes we see Qiyanas go for an early Tiamat instead if they want to get extra wave push potential, but he just wants to make sure he's able to rotate around to these fights.
Yeah, he may not have TP, but he's got really fast feet with that mobility boots. But it's
best
tricky.
thing.
Like, unless Blaber gives him river control, he can't leave that lane because PowerOfEvil will out-trade him. Here comes Blaber, though.
Cloud9, control over the river, control over the scuttle. That one's secured, makes it so FlyQuest doesn't have any opportunity to really try to sneak any sort of a Drake should they get the chance, but when the mid lane is not in their favor, when the bottom lane is shoved up underneath the turret, kind of hard to go for one of those kinds of plays anyway. See if IgNar and Santorin
Blaber
make
wants
anything happen
something
here. Viper in trouble though. Licorine finding a very good trade. 100% HP left on the Rumble. Viper down to about a third.
Really interesting moment in the game right here. With both top laners having no TP, and a level 6 fight against a Qiyana is always incredibly risky. Also notice the way that the bottom lane is consistently getting pushed up, and how now Vulcan has control of the river. So whoever has most control of the river is most likely to be able to do Drake, but unless they have enough of a window, they're not going to be able to invest that time.
Zven and Vulcan will continue keeping control of this bottom side. Shove those waves up. Make Turtle and IgNar farm underneath the turret. Put the pressure on nice and early. You can see a very slight CS advantage for Zven, but that's going to be evened up as Turtle farms up these last couple of minions. Jungler's not quite level 6. Remember, both these guys really explode in their gank potential once they've got the ulti.
I just saw the C9 ping, so look at this. WildTurtle did use teleport to go back to lane. And the wave in bot is actually pushed up right now. So after this wave hits, we're going to see these people recall, and we're going to see them run straight out towards that Rift Trail. That's what I think the play is here.
Watch the Cloud9 members. Is Jet correct? Does he have the inside knowledge? Ladies and gentlemen, yes.
It's not inside knowledge. Every team is doing this.
I'm
They're
going to
deciding
pretend
go
like,
Rift Trail.
let me talk you up, damn it. We need to pretend like this is secret information.
Yeah, it's in the code.
Yes, I need some 5 heads in the chat for what you've clearly deciphered here.
Yeah.
This is the Da Vinci Code, and you are just deciphering the entire thing as Cloud9 head towards the Herald.
All right, well, in the code, you can see C9 has first setup, but the question is, since they've started it, can they burn it down fast enough? Probably, because WildTurtle, as we know, Senna is very slow at clearing waves of turret, but Santorin's going to be coming in here. It's just almost impossible to fight a Rumble, Kiana, and River.
Turtle does have the Dawning Shadow ready to fire. We know Senna ulti can have a pretty big impact in fights like these. Santorin's over the wall, but he goes over with the Blast Cone, so the EQ gets him right back to safety. It is Cloud9 picking up the Rift Herald, no contest.
Yeah, and you could see FlyQuest was actually matching it anyway rather than getting pressure elsewhere, so this could be a disaster for FlyQuest.
Oh, nicely done by Blaber there, using the body slam and the flash, followed up immediately by the ult. It puts Viper in a spot where he's not getting out. They want to give it away to Zven, and there you go, one shot in the back, first blood.
Perfect execution of post-Rift Herald by C9. Viper had to respect that because it's not just about acquiring the Herald, it's about finding a good way to drop it. You don't want to drop a Rift Herald in a lane alone because it'll give you 2.5 plates. You want to drop it in a lane where you've already killed 2.5 plates so it can secure the first turret. And notice how C9, well, I'll show it after. They're going to recall after this to get pressure, but we're just going to watch this gank one more time. Blaber just flashing. Viper didn't get the early flash, and at that point, he's just completely dead.
You gotta love the teamwork there just to make sure, hey, give the last hit to the guy who needs it. Sven's got the extra range with the Calibrum sniper rifle, takes him up to 550 to 650. Very easy to get that last shot there with the Ignite into the brush. As now FlyQuest finds themselves down, honestly, just a little bit more gold than the total 600 value, including assists of the first blood. So it's not like Cloud9 is completely just smashing this early game, but they are off to a cozy little lead for themselves.
And they're already so far ahead in pressure. Look where Zven is right now, and look at the minimap where the opponent duo lane is. They're actually a full 30 seconds ahead in tempo from the other team. So they can now spend this pressure advantage to get an uncontested Drake because they know that WildTurtle recalled and is that far behind where Zven is on the map.
A little bit of a slow first Drake, but considering both sides wanted to play for other things like that early Herald, not too surprising. That one is secured. Ocean Drake will be the second, so no Therapy Dragon here today. I'm a little bit sad on that.
Yeah.
But we still got a coin flip for whether or not we get Cloud Drake spawning for the rest of the game after.
Yeah, we still definitely have the trees to thank for this one, and it hasn't been that bloody, but we'll get the Drakes, and if Zven is deathless, he's already guaranteed us at least one.
Yeah,
by the
he's
end of the
running
game.
it down in the fountain if he says he goes perfectly deathless this time. So we'll see. We'll see if he makes good on that or if the call of the KDA is too strong.
And just to talk a little bit more about how well C9 has been playing, every gold graph has been up and to the right because they take these small advantages and make them bigger. What I think is next is notice, even though there's a TP disadvantage on the map, they do have that top lane teleport if needed. They can summon the Rift Herald down here. These plates are already almost done. This is basically the turret, and FlyQuest is going to try to defend it, but they may die just because Rumble's going to be in that area.
Oh, baby, here comes your dive. They're looking to take down WildTurtle. Stasis going to be keeping him alive. Shelly underneath the turret. IgNar takes a bite, keeps his AD carry alive, but the turret itself will quickly fall. A little bit more damage will take that one down, and the play is, as you say, Cloud9. They use the Herald properly, and they're going to grab first turret.
They're a pleasure to watch right now. Like, I really like seeing like what a team has identified as an optimal strategy and them to just go through it perfectly in these games. Even Blaber covering Nisqy on his way back to mid. The fact that Licorine had actually moved mid lane in case of a river fight and now holds his teleport until the next big fight can happen.
And now that gold lead has ballooned up to over just about 2,000 gold because you had everybody down there. You got all that extra plate money. First turret bonus as well. Viper's escape route going to be cut off. Licorine dropping the equalizer in a way that makes Viper not able to immediately run back to the lane and to the safety of the turret. But because they don't have allies close enough, Cloud9 can't make a play off of it.
Yeah, Blaber's threatening for sure. Has ultimate if he gets the slow. Yep,
Here comes Nisqy, chain CC.
Mid-jungle synergy. PoE thought he was safe because he had his Jarvan in the river a second ago. There was no safety there.
A supreme display of talent and crowd control makes it very easy to pick off an isolated opponent. When those two just weave those abilities together, lock them down, blow them up.
Whew. Okay, I've talked a lot about what C9 has done.
All right, let's talk about what FlyQuest has to do to keep themselves from bleeding out this game after we check the replay.
Yeah, I'm going to need a minute to think about this one, because this was just, he has flash, but he doesn't want to use it, and Nisqy never gives him a moment. Notice how he walked over a control ward, flash EQ to guarantee the route, and then chained with the rest of the CC. It's like there was no time for PoE to react. What FlyQuest needs to do is neutralize the map as much as possible. They have pretty good lane setup right now. They've managed to push the top lane into turret, and the bottom lane is on C9's side. So that should give them a small window of time to get a little bit of control in this river with vision. So, like, just to hope they could get a pick before C9 fights them.
Here could be that potential pick. Vulcan flashing over the wall to stay alive. Santorin and IgNar cannot follow up and go for the kill there, so Vulcan with a good use of Summoner Spell to stay safe and get himself out of the FlyQuest clutches.
That was really good, though. You got to see how the side waves were pushed, so it gave them time to go into the river and make a play. And with the Senna mid lane, notice how they're contesting the wave. It's punishable if C9 can get a flank, but this is how he kind of needs to play Senna.
Oh, Vulcan tried to go for the hook there, wasn't able to get it, got stopped by the minion. Blaber looking to make some kind of a play here, but doesn't want to go too deep.
Here comes Santorin
coming in from behind. Blaber's down to half HP. The Santorin found its way out of Vulcan, and there comes the Cataclysm. Santorin's gonna get 2 stopwatches, but Zven brings in the firepower. IgNar's gonna be roasted alive, and the stasis will barely keep him in there. The equalizer's brought down, and that is fried catfish, baby. Cloud9 is going to town in this team fight. WildTurtle, he even has to flash away, but it is too damn little, too damn late.
Well, congratulations on C9 for moving to 5-0 in the LCS. It's been fun. There's still lots of games to play, but you can see how daunting it is to play these guys, because, like, logically, that was a pretty good place for FlyQuest to be. But not only do you have to have the right macro, you have to be able to out-skirmish them. And the stopwatch usage here is what defined the fight for C9. The double stopwatch as the teleport is channeling and as Zven is weaving his ultimate through, which buys enough time for Licorice to get there, and then layering the equalizer on top of the enemy stopwatch to punish. At this point, the fight's already won, and FlyQuest is trying to salvage. That was their mistake. Beautiful Qiyana ultimate coming in right at the end to secure the 4th kill of the skirmish.
FlyQuest unable to cut those losses. They lose so much. They're down 4,500 gold. 15 minutes into this game. Second Drake is alive. FlyQuest could be caught out of position. Vulcan goes in, but because Zven wasn't immediately there for the follow-up, Cloud9 does not want to overcommit. And I really like seeing this tempered aggression from this team. Yeah. Even though they're 4,000 gold ahead, they are not willing to walk into some sort of a play that could be less than optimal. They don't want to risk it.
And they don't have Rumble Ultimate, or they did not have Rumble Ultimate during that first initial trade of spells. So now that they do, you can see them moving up to get full control of this second dragon.
Cloud9 zoning their opponents away. Vulcan hanging out in the brush. There you go. He's able to find the dredge line onto the first target. Santorin going into the stasis. These stopwatches are just being smashed this game. Nisqy caught out off to the right, and he is blown up. Pretty important pick there coming out from the side of FlyQuest. PowerOfEvil looking to go forward even further. Ocean Drake taken very low, secured by Licorice. Blaber out over the wall. FlyQuest and PowerOfEvil won't be able to find anything else. Damn you, Infernal Dragon. This is not your game.
The 1 in 3 chance, Flowers.
Even the crowd disapproves.
Yeah. Tying charity work to RNG is a dangerous move.
It's very risky. It's very risky. That poor Infernal Dragon's gonna have a nightmare recovering from the bad PR of this.
Yeah.
He used to be everybody's favorite, but now the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, first he gets nerfed, right? It was like 10% for one of them last year. Now it's 4% AD and AP. Now this. What's next?
Just get off social media for a while, Infernal Dragon. You'll be fine. Let's see what Licorice is able to do down here in the bottom side, though, as Cloud9 still command a very comfortable lead here in this game, just shy of 4,000 gold. 2-0 on the Drake count, 1-0 on turrets, 6-1 on kills. Every metric this game can be measured by. C9's ahead.
Yeah, and how are they going to close this out? Also coming up, we're going to have Meteos 100 Thieves Jungler, who's coming off a big victory today. Also, help breaking down this game. Got to hear his thoughts on Blaber v Santorin. I mean, Blaber continuing now his all-time best win rate of LCS players. Only getting better this season as they stay undefeated, but really adding a lot to his young career already.
And especially in the wake of following up a guy who was voted MVP in the previous split, where they took Team Liquid to 5 games in the grand final of summer in 2019. Cloud9 saying, no, we got faith in Blaber. The kid is ready to become the man, and he is stepping up, playing some good League of Legends here so far in 2020. 2-0-4, and he's the one dropping the Rift Herald there, making sure that turret falls in the mid lane, further extending the Cloud9 gold lead. This team is scary.
Good Herald usage will open up more of their ability to roam. It also prevents WildTurtle and IgNar, the Senna Tahm Kench, from pushing up midway, because now they have more flanks to respect. And also, fun fact, that's now 8 Heralds in 5 games secured by C9, right? A lot of times, 2 Heralds don't go down in a whole game. C9 has gotten 80% of all possible Heralds so far this year.
Yeah, that's pretty extreme. One thing I also want to point out here, I think an important itemization breakpoint that needs to be noticed. Vulcan's Stoneplate on this Nautilus is completed. Stoneplate Rush on tank supports is the new age meta. It lets you just go in there, be a massive target, a huge DPS sponge for your team. If you look across the board, IgNar does not have the same item completed yet. He has components. There's a Chain Vest, there's an All Magic Mantle. But if either of these supports get caught out, it's very easy for Vulcan to survive. For IgNar, I'm not singing the same song.
And I think additively, looking at the damage profile of both teams will make Vulcan even tankier by comparison. Senna teams usually need something with high sustained DPS because Stoneplate supports exist. So Aphelios has that to cut through Tahm Kench. Rumble also has that to help burn down tanky targets. So really, again, Vulcan is at optimal power spike right now. He can be a true frontline tank engager.
Cloud9 have 1 tier 1 turret left to take down this game. That top lane FlyQuest turret still standing there, about 2/3 HP. See if they want to commit to this. They don't feel particularly compelled to do a crazy play for it, but if it's still standing, you might as well knock it down. Bottom side, you can see the top laners have rotated to the other end of the map. They both have TP, so if the fight breaks out, they could very easily join. Remember, FlyQuest also has the teleport advantage on mid lane and bottom, but considering they're so far behind this game, you kind of want to have everybody there should a fight break out immediately. Otherwise, by the time the TP is complete, you may have already lost.
But notice where WildTurtle has to stand right now on the minimap where Senna is. The fact that they've lost that mid turret and they have the Rumble Kiana as well as all this vision throughout the jungle means that C9 is fairly free to just get shots on that turret over time as they're waiting for this next Infernal to spawn, or they can just get a fight in the jungle.
Vulcan going fishing yet again. Throw the man a cask. He's going to need a drink after that one. Flash don't make it over the wall, and back to the fountain he goes. Vulcan grabs the kill.
Beautifully done. They can continue chipping away on this top turret. They could force Baron if they're feeling really spicy, or they could take the more conservative play and just get the Infernal Drake in 30 seconds to put them 1 away from Soul Point.
Santorin in the brush. Gonna be just checked there by Blaber. He's got the barrels. This Gragas is so far ahead of the Jarvan too. Look at Jarvan's inventory. It's a Cinder Hulk and a non-fully completed boot. While if you look across the board, Blaber's got Sorcerer Shoes, Runic Echoes, and an entire Zhonya's Hourglass. Woo. He's very strong in this Gragas.
Oh, that hurts to see. And then they have this like nice damage profile as well with the AD Assassin plus basically AP Assassin coming out of the jungle. What are you gonna do, Flowers?
Probably die a lot if you're on FlyQuest trying to frontline against this. You practically have to go in and be the sacrificial lamb and hope the DPS missteps. But again, on Zven, 2-0-4 with the Aphelios, almost full kill participation. The man's been having a great split here so far. And the Infernal Drake will fall to Cloud9. FlyQuest recognize they can't try to challenge this, not at the state of the game right now. And that means Soul Point for C9, just shy of 27 minutes. That 4th Drake will spawn, and FlyQuest will have to make a decision on whether or not the Soul is worth fighting for.
Yeah, they generally need to try and make as many plays on sides as possible around PoE.
Oh! PoE using the stasis, trying to make an outplay here. IgNar and Santorin show up to help, but Nisqy buys enough time, makes it so they can't make any sort of a move against him. He does expend both summoners.
Yeah, gets the stopwatch out of PoE though, so not bad, all things considered. Like, I think, depending on C9's risk tolerance right now, it's totally a good play to just wait the 4 minutes and 20 seconds and then fight at Infernal. If we look at how like FlyQuest's composition could have worked, it's if they didn't get so blasted by the original Rift Herald play, which then snowballed around the map, because you can see like Diana is a good side lane matchup against the Qiyana, and Aatrox is also a good side lane matchup against Rumble. The 1-3-1 totally could have worked. It's just the fact that C9 has out-executed so far. So right now, I do think we're gonna chill for about 4 minutes and then get that next Infernal Drake.
Just completed on his last back, Licorice was able to pick up Morellonomicon. Full item means he's able to reduce the healing of Viper in the ultimate form. Also going to shut down some of that Senna healing throughout the team fight. So any sort of the sustain that you would see from the team fight of FlyQuest is going to be further reduced, meaning life just gets harder for nature's favorite team. Cloud9 setting up shop in the jungle here now, laying down some of the vision. With all those tier 1s gone, it means you feel safer to push up, get that vision line down, make your opponent's map darker, make them more afraid to step up.
They are threatening a lot of Baron side vision control 3 minutes before the Infernal Drake goes up. You can only put so much vision down on the map. Like if they do want to secure Infernal vision in 3 minutes, they're actually going to lose their Baron vision. But I can't fault them too much. Like it's something to do while they wait for Infernal to come up.
Viper grabbing that bottom lane tier 1 turret. 24 minutes into the game, FlyQuest claims their first turret. And it's the bottom lane tier 1, not the most useful thing.
Right,
Viper looking to make his stand here against Licorice. 1v1, and Viper is showing off the power of the World Ender.
Here comes Nisqy.
Throw Licorice up into the air there, needs a little bit more damage. The cavalry has arrived, and Viper cannot complete his task in time. Nisqy picks up the kill.
Viper did his best. That's just wasn't good.
That's about all he could do. You're not running away from the Electro Harpoons, so stand and fight. Die with your boots on.
Definitely a little bit baited by the fight from Licorice. Still actually creating pretty good sideway pressure, right? Like they were able to get 2 of these turrets down. The gold's a little bit frozen. They're coming back a little bit. Respect the effort for sure.
But that effort is not showing the results they want. It's 2 minutes until that final Drake Soul is there. 2 fully completed lethality items on Nisqy's Qiyana. Fighting around the river, so dangerous when the Supreme display of talent is ready to go. You can see the stopwatch ready on Licorice's Rumble, which has been contributing a lot of damage to the fights here so far. 2 crit items plus another cloak puts Zven's Aphelios at 70% total critical strike chance. So the DPS is going to be massive in the upcoming fight.
Yeah, Zven is absolutely terrifying if they can get any type of CC layering. No active stopwatches left on FlyQuest actually, so whatever Vulcan presses R on, Licorice can also press R on with Rumble, and that target is just probably dead.
The stone plate is complete on IgNar's Tom Kench.
True.
So we do have that. There is a defensive item there.
This is interesting. They're actually going for the Baron right now, so they could have waited another minute, but they don't want the split push to get too powered up. They want to do something now.
Remember, Santorin does have the opportunity to make this a 50-50. Does FlyQuest make their stand? Baron is going to be dropped off. PowerOfEvil, Santorin into the pit. Baron's going to be taken very low. Licorice, the man who secures it. PowerOfEvil going to be melted away. Santorin already down now as well. Licorice grabbing the killing spree. Nisqy on the side, looking to cut off the escape route. FlyQuest have already lost 2. It's a 2 for 0. Nisqy's got the supreme display of talent. IgNar going to be burned away next. The projectiles are flying. FlyQuest is dying. That is a clean play coming out from Cloud9.
Whew, they get the Baron, they'll get the Infernal in 30 seconds, but Flowers, that looks stealable. I'm just saying.
It was at 180 HP for a real long time.
That was popping around. I thought for sure C9 would go for some type of fight, but that is one way. You have the fastest average game time in the league. You got to take risks occasionally. I would have liked to see him take it for. Let's watch this one more time. They do have Aphelios sentries set up, and PoE jumps in with Santorin to burst. So I actually love this. C9 likely just wanted to stop damage at 2K, but FlyQuest went to force it down from 2K. In doing so, though, they use all of their Diana engage, which completely exposes them for the ensuing team fight that Nisqy is able to get some lockdown on before Zven runs through for more kills.
And Cloud9, now they've got an 11-1 lead. And they've got a fight on their hands.
The flank.
Tom Kench goes in behind. Can FlyQuest do anything with this? I don't think so. PowerOfEvil's already out of there. IgNar taken very low. They're going to get one in retaliation. Turtle's burning away. Zven follows up on it. Santorin's just trying to hobble out. That is a 4-for-1. Cloud9 did lose their jungler, but is there any possible way they lose the Drake? No, sir. That is Infernal Soul for C9.
I'm just saying, it's pretty incredible that Zven is just adding to that miraculous KDA. It was 51 before this game. It's 64. Math. It's one of those numbers that's higher than it was before. It's got to be approaching.
Yes, of course.
It has to be approaching an LCS record. It's actually like it is touching what he is doing, but like the history nerd in me says, Zven, you could go for 100.
What was Chovy's record in the LCK when it was crazy? It was over 100.
It was getting close to that. Yeah.
It was about 100. So Zven's still got a little bit more work to go towards that, but damn it, the man isn't playing some fine League of Legends here in Season 10. FlyQuest have lost a mid lane inhibitor. Yeah, this is what you want to see out of your AD. This is what AD carries aspire to be, man.
Yeah, 63 is the current KDH for Zven. I'd love to know what the LCS record is for start of season. That's going to be like a difficult pull. We'll get that eventually. Watching this fight, you see Blaber separate WildTurtle on the bottom right of that screen as FlyQuest was trying the flank. So like the IgNar PoE flank was an okay idea, but it just couldn't be followed up by the rest of the team. And then the equalizer after it all funneled in was just adding insult to injury. It's over.
Right down on 3 members, just completely claims the team fight for Cloud9, plants a flag in it. And now, let's see how they're going to end this game. It should be swift, and it should be, just really not that great for FlyQuest.
He's got Zanyas as well.
Just turns this around, 1v2. You're not trapped in here with, I'm not trapped in here, I messed it up, whatever. They're still gonna be forced away as FlyQuest is on the back foot permanently. Cloud9 pushing that top lane up.
Infernal Soul Rumble is one of the goofiest things you can see. PoE actually achieved this in his mid-Rumble game when he had one of the highest DPS games of the year for him. You saw it right there too, just like, it's completely absurd how much damage you can do. I think they end on this push. Let's see if Zven runs it down.
One last chance, FlyQuest. It's gonna take some kind of a miracle here. Let's see them make their stand. Cloud9 going for the end of the game. There comes your root! The Moonlight Vigil sends them back into the fountain. Nexus turret number 1, it's gone. Nexus turret number 2, that's the target. Vulcan on the front line, Stoneplate ready to go. There comes your follow-up engage. In from Blaber, Stasis also coming out to dodge away from the Dawning Shadow.
FlyQuest is still alive.
FlyQuest trying to do anything, but there's nothing they can do. Zven and the rest of Cloud9 are taking it all the way to FlyQuest. He can't make it into the fountain. 7-0-7, Cloud9, they got themselves another win.
Huh.